All right, welcome to this special episode of Real Estate Fight Club. This is called What Would You Do, where we talk about different ethics committee and professional standards committee cases and violations. And here with me today is Jimcamarata. Hey, Jim.
Good morning, Jen. Welcome back to the land of the living.
Thank you. So, so Jim's at Keller Williams in Minnesota, and you have an interesting report for us today. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we talk about a variety of situations where people, what were they thinking when they committed different acts?
Right.
But this is a report. It's the third quarter report of various ethics complaints. Now, this is for the state of Minnesota. Can't speak to any other states.
Right.
But it was interesting. There were 33 ethics complaints filed. 9 were dismissed. And it could be for any number of reasons. And one of the big reasons for having a case dismissed is lack of specificity, or there just wasn't good documentation on the alleged violation. There were 22 hearings held, and 12 of those resulted in a realtor being found in violation.
Wow. That's more than half. I mean, it's about half, but.
And so, we've often been asked, well, so what are the consequences?
Can I back up and ask you a question first?
Yes.
How long have you been on this committee? For a few years, right?
8 or 9 years.
Is 33 a quarter seem about average, or is it high? Is it low?
It's about average.
Okay.
It's about average. But I was in an association in a rather small geographic area years ago, and there were never any complaints filed because it was such a small, tight-knit community, and most of everybody was related, that they didn't file ethics complaints against each other.
Right. Because
so 33 for the
or
entire
whatever.
state.
Yeah, for the whole state. So of the 33, you said 9 were dismissed, and it's mostly for like lack of, I guess, do we call it evidence?
And I was involved in a grievance review committee meeting yesterday, and this individual really wasn't quite sure what he was charging the realtor with.
Okay.
So he named like 8 or 9 different articles. Figured, okay,
whatever. Yeah, that's a lot, right?
But in reading through, the summary and the allegations, we could not determine what the heck was so heinous that the agent did that was in violation of anything.
Got it. Yeah. So being specific, if you're going to file a complaint, like what actually happened, how does it relate specifically to an article from the Code of Ethics? And then so out of the ones that did get heard, half of them were found, half of the agents were found in violation. Is that pretty common?
Yeah, it's pretty typical.
So is the rest just people upset just because they're upset, but there's really no violation, or there is something wrong, we just don't have a code for it?
There are 2 types of violations. One, you as an agent, I could charge you as a fellow agent of violating one of the articles. So it's agent.
Okay.
Or any member of the public, if he or she feels as if they've been wronged in some way, fashion, they can charge us to be in violation of one of the articles.
Do you know of the 12 where the agent was found in violation? How much of those, or out of the complaints, how many of those were agent to agent versus consumer to agent? No,
this report does not address that.
Okay.
But it does identify the 3 top articles that were in violation.
Good. Which ones?
So 3, 9, and 12. So Article 3 had 5 violations. Article 3 says realtors shall cooperate with other brokers except when cooperation is not in the client's best interest. The obligation to cooperate does not include the obligation to share commissions, fees, or to otherwise compensate another broker. So to cooperate with another broker is a very broad term. And it could be, not being cooperative and letting them see the property, or returning phone calls in a timely fashion.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on answering the damn phone, Jim.
Oh, I know. Mine is by my side at all times. And that's our business. And if I am on another call or in a meeting, I hit the little button that says, I can't talk to you right now, but I'll get back to you immediately.
Right. When I'm done.
Anyway. So Article 3, in cooperation with one another, there were 5 violations out of the 12 that were found in violation.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. That's interesting.
The next one with 4 violations was Article 12. Article 12 says realtors shall be honest and truthful in their real estate communications and shall present a true picture in their advertising, marketing, and other representations. They shall ensure that their status as real estate professionals is readily apparent in their advertising, marketing, and other representations, and that the recipients of all real estate communications are or have been notified that those communications are from a real estate professional.
That's weird.
Well, there are a lot of secret agents out there.
Yeah, but they're not the ones that are marketing or advertising. They're hiding.
Our law requires that if you're going to do anything, it has to be in writing. And if you are involved in a transaction with a blood relative or for yourself, you must identify that relationship.
Got it.
And there are agents that don't.
Right.
Well, that's my aunt, and I haven't seen her in 10 years. And no, she's a blood relative. You got to reveal the fact that you are related. It changes the dynamics.
Yeah, it does. You think that was most of it?
Yeah, or in advertising. For example, in social media, whether it's Facebook or any other social media tool, you've got to identify the fact that you are a licensee, that you are a realtor, that you're with the XYZ real estate company. You've got to identify that. And there's some people that think that they don't have to.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Right. What's interesting about this, and I know we've talked about this before on different occasions, but these violations are only for realtors, capital R realtors, which are members of the National Association of Realtors, which is not all real estate agents. I don't even know, do you know the percentage or approximate amount of agents?
It's not a big percentage, and it tends to be in more rural areas. So I can't even speak to that, because in my metro, we're all realtors, to my knowledge.
Well, oftentimes the brokerage requires it, but yeah, in the rural areas where maybe you are the broker and it's your own brokerage, then you're not anybody, you cannot cooperate with an agent and they really can't do anything about it.
I know, you're not bound by the same rules and regulations.
It's interesting, right?
I know, which is a shame, because we're self-policing.
Right.
That's what we're doing here with the filing. So
well, we can get in a fight about that on a different podcast. But
let's do that. The third article, Article 9, and for the realtors, for the protection of all parties, shall assure whenever possible that all agreements related to real estate transactions, including but not limited to listing and representation agreements, purchase agreements, leases, are in writing in clear and understandable language, expressing the specific terms and conditions, obligations, and commitments. And copies have to be sent to all parties.
Right. Well, we did a one, I think, what would you do? Or it was a Real Estate Fight Club one about just because it was sent, was it received? And what, what if you got another offer in between the time of sent and received or whatever? I don't know. There's that gray area in there,
Yeah. So as soon as I get it, bang, I love the electronics now.
Yeah.
I can send it in a nanosecond over to all parties, including the mortgage lender, the title company, everybody is copied. And
I know, but there's always that like one time where during that transmittal and or it was received by the other party that like something happens,
I know. And here's something else that's probably going to sound silly that I do. I blind carbon copy myself on all communications.
That's a good idea.
But I've got files set up for each transaction or each client, and then I just dump that email into that electronic file.
Like into the folder in Gmail or whatever. That's a good idea. Well, let me talk about, that's a great idea. Let me talk about the partners quickly, and then we'll come back and talk about what the fines looked like. Because, that's what we really want to know. How much did people really pay, You're gonna love it. Yeah. So the two sponsors I want to talk about today, the first one is my coach, Coach John Kitchens. And he's offering a lot of people, this is right around the time when we're working on our 2022 business plan. So it's a good idea to meet with a coach so that they can see some of the blind spots that you as an agent can't see. So John is offering a free 30-minute business assessment. You would go to callcoachkitchens.com, enter in Fight Club to get that for free. And then the other one I want to talk about is Ghost Poster, which is Monica's business. And what she does is she gives you content for your social media. So you don't have to think about it. You just copy and paste it, and it makes sure it's a great way to get started if you're learning about how to market yourself on social media. So she's offering a discount for that. So you would go to mycoachmonica.com, enter in Fight Club, and get your discount for Ghost Poster. All right, Jim, tell us what we really want to know.
All right.
How did they get in trouble?
Well, there are varying degrees of seriousness.
Okay.
And alleged violations, or if you're found in violation, whether you were really intentional in your
not cooperating with somebody is pretty intentional.
Yeah, so there are a variety. There were 10 out of the 12 that were found in violation. There were 10 letters of reprimand. So it's basically, well, it's a slap on the wrist. It's a letter of reprimand that goes into your file and it stays there.
They didn't even get in trouble?
Well, obviously it wasn't serious enough, but it was, hey, don't do this again, because the next time we're going to do more than just send you a letter of reprimand.
Every time you heard a case, you guys hear it before you know if they've been in trouble before, right?
No, we do not know that until the executive session, after everything has been heard.
So what if you guys hear everything and you're like, you guys decide like, this is not a big deal, right? But then in the executive session, you find out that it's happened. They've got 4 letters of reprimand. Can then your citation change?
Yep.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It sure can. Absolutely. Okay. And there was a range of monetary fines that were issued. It ranged from $250 to $5,000.
But that would have been of the 2 that didn't receive. The reprimand doesn't include a fine, right?
Yeah, it doesn't break down, who got what.
So of the 2, one of them probably got $250 and the other one got $5,000.
Maybe.
Dang.
Maybe. And we can also combine dollar fines with mandatory continuing ed requirements. So it ranged from 2 hours to up to 45 hours of continuing ed. So I kind of think that $5,000 fine probably had a 45-hour requirement. I don't know, because this doesn't tell us, but we fined somebody $2,500 one time. We wanted to make a very clear statement. We couldn't hit her up on the side of the head with a 2x4, but we wanted to get her attention. Don't ever do that again.
Right. Do you think she got it?
I hope so.
Time will tell, won't it?
Yeah. And those all of the findings are kept confidential. So we never, ever know of any other cases or whether she got fined in the future.
That's so interesting to me. I would think that public humiliation would stop the problem. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
When I'm czar of real estate, when you guys elect me czar of real estate, I will play with that to see if our fines go down when there's public humiliation, and we bring back the reports where people's faces, they're fine, what they did.
Oh, so you want public flogging? Okay, I got your number.
Just say, what is the end goal here? You know, like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to stop the activity? Then, you know, some people don't care. If your average commission check is $10,000 and you've done, you know, you've gotten business in this shady way 200 times, or let's just even say 10 times, you know, you're at $100,000 and you got in trouble one time for $2,500. Who cares?
Yeah, it wouldn't get that far.
Okay.
If you've been found in violation or 1, 2, or 3 times, you're gonna
know. Okay,
risk having your license suspended or membership suspended.
But that's of the people that tell on you, and that's the thing. And even you said, like, depending on your market, it may not be a common practice. I mean, how many realtors do you have in the state of Minnesota?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Probably 10,000.
Okay, 10,000 in your whole. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure at least. Minnesota's a big state, so let's say 10,000 realtors in Minnesota, and there were only 33 complaints. Like
quarter in 3 months.
In 3 months, yeah. So around 11 complaints a month. That's in how many transactions? I mean, come on, these numbers are like stupid low, right? So people aren't telling on each other. I don't know. This is dramatic. I feel like we could go like on a very large rabbit hole.
And there are people that just look at it and they say, you know what, that's going to require a lot of negative energy and time on my part.
That's what I would think. And they've been doing it forever and they haven't gotten in trouble. What am I going to do? Kind of like that, you know?
So there is that attitude. And,
I know, I got a bad attitude.
Negative energy. It is negative energy. And the expression I always use is, as your broker, my job is to keep you out of realtor jail. You don't want to be there.
Right.
So if you've got an issue, if you've got a question, call me first. Let's avoid the situation in the first place.
I think that's solid, good advice.
And if it happens, I'll be there to help defend you.
Right. But the chances of it happening, if you're a betting person, the chances of it happening are very low. Mm-hmm. That means somebody's got to tell on you.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim, if you're such a good person, and I'm glad that we have you on here, because if it were me, I'd be like, this is stupid.
Well, I love giving the legal response when somebody asks me a question.
Right.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
It depends.
Right. Exactly. That's what Monica always says too. Like when I'm trying to fight her, like, pick a side. If people have questions for you, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
You can call me or email me or text me. Phone number is 612-562-7461, or email is Jimcamarata@kw.com.
Awesome. You're the best. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.